Disclaimer, disclaimer, read all about it.
Gone somewhere and dyed my hair now. Wanna be alone. It's much to bear and you don't care, and I won't play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all of what you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you beg me please. Hey.
Hey everybody, it's your girl True Crime with Eve. We're going to be listening to the Karen Read status conference hearing today for a possible retrial or a possible dismissal of the two charges that the jurors who reached out to the defense team, either directly or through a third party intermediary, says we unanimously dropped the murder charge of second degree and the third charge of manslaughter. So that's going to start at 1 o'clock. So that's in about 10 minutes. As you are all aware, or at least the people that follow me, the algorithm with Karen Read and I do not go hand in hand together for some reason. It's almost like a shadow band. So honestly, there's not going to be a lot of viewers, especially since, you know, the big players, LTL, Glare, 13th Juror, Turtle Boy, all those people, they get that algorithm. So it's not going to be a big, huge deal to stream this live. So this is more for just talking about what the judge is going to go over, if she's going to address the dismissal charges, the Juror Doe. But I also have something that a lot of other people do not have, like these big players, which I do love anybody that covers the Karen Read trial with the truth and not bullshit. Brian Higgins, everybody knows Brian Higgins. He is the ATF agent that Karen Read was texting, flirting with, 2 weeks or so before John O'Keefe was found dead on the front lawn of a fellow Boston police officer, Brian Higgins, he was actually sued in federal court by a man named Rico Perry. Now, who's Rico Perry? Rico Perry is a career criminal, not an outstanding citizen in the least. However, even career criminals have rights. And Rico is alleging that Brian Higgins and a fellow ATF agent named Fedoros, he and Fedoros allegedly violated his rights by unlocking his phone without his permission, without a search warrant, by grabbing his thumb and putting it on the iPhone to unlock it. And therefore he's being sued not only for that, but for hindering medical treatment. Now, this was in the federal PACER online, the federal court documents that I did pay for and review. So before we start the hearing, I wanted to go over that because it kind of shows you the pattern, okay, of law enforcement in Massachusetts specifically when it comes to the Karen Read case, the Sandra Birchmore case, and others, including this Rico Perry situation. So let me give you the backstory. All right, just listen for a second. Rico Perry went to the Cube storage in Boston, Massachusetts on January 28th of 2020, 1 year and a day, or 2 years to the day of, John O'Keefe being found, which is ironic. But there was a sting operation going on with Quincy Police, I believe the Boston Police, a few other agencies, and specifically the ATF, which is what, again, Brian Higgins, he's a ATF agent. So they're doing this sting operation because there's drug activity going on. There's people that were living in the Cube Smart Storage facilities. All right. Hey, Hellcat. Good to see you, love. So the sting was kind of, over time being watched, and it worked up to this day where, they go and bust a drug deal, I'm assuming with Rico Perry. And what had happened was an unknown ATF agent threw one of those rubber bullet grenades where it explodes and the rubber bullets kind of bounce around to disable you. And it hit Rico Perry in the back of the head. He had to go to the hospital. And that's where Higgins states to Rico, hey, I'm an EMT. So I can tell the nurse and the doctors what's wrong with you. And he's like, well, no. Right. But he was, I'm assuming, in pain and unable to really speak up on the matter. So basically, all in all, he is saying that they violated his rights and interfered with medical treatment. Higgins and Fedoros. So I did get those documents. I'm going to pull them up real fast. And the reason, again, I am not sticking up for a career criminal or anything like that. But what I am looking at in particular is what he's alleging that Higgins did. It kind of makes sense looking at the, mishandling of the Sandra Birchmore case and Karen Reed case. Absolutely. And Brian Higgins was at the Sally Port. He was involved. Him and Berkey, his bestie, chief of police at the time. So it is what it is. So here is the documents. All right. This is where I got the info from. Plaintiff Rico Perry. Defendant Attorney General Maura Healey was involved. It dropped down to just, I believe, Brian Higgins and Keith Medeiros, like the defendant list. It shortened, definitely shortened. I think the attorney generals were dropped off, and I believe Sage Control and maybe even the ATF. I'm not really sure 100%. Hey, Radical Rocco, good to see you. So here, it's just kind of giving a list of the defendants at the time. Again, it did drop down. Here's where it gets interesting. Brian Higgins, this is what we're talking about right now. Here's Keith Medeiros, defendant, that was dropped off. So on January 28th, I was at Cube Smart Self Storage. I was unarmed. Defendant Cube Smart Self Storage allows both state and federal agencies to conduct operations at their facility. There was a joint operation with the Boston Police Department, Massachusetts State Police, ATF, and there were as many as 20 officers at the facility. While at the self-storage, I was shot in the back of my head by an unknown ATF agent of the Special Response Team. This incident was recorded on video and was not released to the public. That is very interesting because typically if you're not hiding anything, that would be released. If you're under a civil lawsuit, especially with state police, I know that they would probably keep it hidden unless there was no wrongdoing involved, right? So that is very interesting to me that was never released. I cannot find that at all. I can't even find articles on this situation. So he got shot in the back of the head by a rubber bullet, like I said before. So while on the floor in pain, waiting for emergency medical attention, an officer immediately seized my cell phone and grabbed my thumb to use it to unlock my cell phone. The officer began to search my phone without a warrant. Hasn't that been a theme with the Karen Reed case where Trooper Michael Proctor searched Karen Reed's phone without a warrant. And they found that out by the text between, from my understanding, Yuri Buchanan, or Bukaki as we call him, was involved in that text thread. So there was witnesses to that text thread showing that he was going through the phone. So when I arrived at the hospital, I was handcuffed, and two agents with the ATF, Brian Higgins and Keith Maduris, interfered with my medical treatment. So let's see what he means by that. Higgins claimed he was an emergency medical technician with the defendant of the ATF when describing my injuries and pain levels to doctors and nurses. Higgins and Maduros refused to allow me to use the restroom, which I don't really care about that. I mean, let the dude use the bathroom. He could have been wanting to get out of there, skedaddle, so that's not of my concern. But they told me that I had to wait and hold my bladder until I got to the court, since they had to hold theirs while waiting all day to lock me up. The only alternative to peeing my pants was to request to be discharged from the hospital so I could quickly be brought in court in order to use the bathroom, as well as speak to an attorney and judge to explain my need for medical treatment without interference. Now that is what's important, right? So he had to request to be discharged from the hospital, being manipulated by the ATF to go get arrested, to go get arraigned, so that he could pee. Not a good look. Not a good look. So what is Rico Perry stating? He's not saying I didn't do the crime of whatever they were stinging me on. What he's saying is they violated my rights. They violated my rights by unlocking my phone. And here's the problem with that. You're thinking to yourself, he's a criminal. Who cares? Nobody cares. Well, do you want the charges dismissed of a career criminal to be out on the streets doing the same thing because, excuse me, law enforcement didn't know better? Federal agents didn't do the proper procedure? That's what's important. Okay. So that is what's going on with Brian Higgy. And I think everybody needs to know that, he is it's currently pending on that matter. And why it's important, again, is because they think that they can do whatever they want to do and get away with it. And why would that be any different in the Karen Reed case? It's not. It's not. So let's get in to see if the hearing is going on yet. Give me just a second. Let me pull it up. I'm going to mute this and just let it play for a little bit. Give me about 5 minutes and I'll jump in. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit that like button. It's free. All right, it's free. And I'll be right back. Oh, by the way, if you're listening, I will be on Tom CPU's live tomorrow, very early in the morning. It'll be 7 a.m. Eastern time, so 6 p.m. Central. So go ahead and check that out and hit that notification for tomorrow's live when he schedules it. I'll let you guys know on my community page. All right, be back shortly.
No, we'll hold it for you.
All right, here we go.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Martin Weinberg, appearing on behalf of Karen Reed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Weinberg. It's nice to see you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Unetti for Karen Reed.
Good afternoon, Mr. Unetti. Good afternoon, Ms. Reed. All right, so the case is scheduled today for trial assignment, and what I'd like to do is to get 3 dates. I'm aware that a motion to dismiss has been filed. I'd like to get a quick date on that, and I'm glad you're here, Mr. Weinberg, because I'd like it to be with your schedule. Then we need a trial date, and we need a final trial conference. So I was thinking on the motion to dismiss, can we do it a week from Friday? It would be for oral argument only.
From the defendant's perspective, yes, Your Honor.
All right, I think that's August 2nd.
I
Mr.
apologize,
Clerk.
Judge Christie.
I'm going to be out of state. I return on August 3rd.
Okay. August 9th? Are you
What time?
available? 2 o'clock. Are you available, Mr. Weinberg, on August 9th? Mr. Lally, is the Commonwealth available on August 9th?
There's Weinberg.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that's for oral argument only, okay?
2 p.m.
2 p.m. All right, so given the schedule, and I assume whatever I end up doing on the motion to dismiss will be appealed, in an effort to make sure we have plenty of time, I would like to schedule the jury trial on January 27th. Is the Commonwealth
Wow,
available?
January 27th of 2025.
Mr. Eddie?
That should be fine.
Okay, so January 27th for trial. And let's do the final trial conference the week of the 13th or even the week of the 6th. Do you have the calendar, Mr. Clerk, or any of those days?
Yeah, there's nothing, just not the 9th or the 16th, but all the days are open.
Okay.
Your Honor, the only caveat, I don't have anything on the 27th. I'm clear for that day, but for the fact that I have a Superior Court trial scheduled to begin in Essex County on January 13th. There are
Correct.
multiple...
How long do you expect it to take?
That's what I was getting to. That could take longer than 2 weeks. I'm happy to have this case take priority over that, but that's...
No, we'll hold it for you day to day if need be, and I can contact the Essex Superior Court judge once you know who he or she is.
Yeah, that's not ideal. In terms of preparing for trial, I can't do 2 or 3 week Superior Court trial and then jump into this case. I can't do that.
Okay?
Okay, to answer your question, Chris, this is about scheduling. We were going to see if they were going to argue, and we haven't played the full thing yet, but they're basically setting up dates to argue the motion to dismiss, which is going to be, I believe, August 3rd, which hopefully that will work out. And if that doesn't work, then the trial is to be held on January 27th, 2025. Normally, it's always pushed back, so don't hold your breath on that. And she is wanting pre-trial, the last pre-trial hearings to be final, I believe, on December 13th and January 6th. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's what I'm assuming. So 2025 will be the trial, January 2025, if everything goes smoothly, which it never does. So that's what we're doing here. Let's see what else we got.
So what are you telling me? You just said you're willing to make this a priority, so we'll stick with the 27th?
Well, okay. Well, why don't we do this? Let's put it on for the 27th. Let me see if I can make peace in Essex County. And then on the next date, when we come back for oral argument, if I can readdress the court on that issue.
Okay, I'm happy to talk to Judge McCarthy, Mr. Barrage up there about this.
It's yeah, okay, that's great.
Oh, you got connections,
Bev?
Bev?
27th. And Why don't we do the 14th for final trial conference?
At the 14th at 9 or 2?
2.
2.
If it turns out that we have, in excess of 35 or whatever motions in limine still at that point, let us know and we will try and get the whole day. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All eyes to the board, please.
Meet 9 at 2 p.m.
Well, that was hyped up for nothing. I don't know if, okay, so the other issues that were supposed to be, I would assume, addressed is the Juror Doe situation and the motions for the jurors coming through, but I guess we're going to wait until August 3rd. I think that's what she said. Let me go back.
Okay.
2 p.m.
2 p.m.
Return on August 3rd.
Okay. August 9th? Are you
What time?
available? 2 o'clock. Are you available, Mr. Weinberg, on August 9th? Mr. Lally, is the Commonwealth available on August 9th?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that's for oral argument only. Okay?
August 9th. Sorry, not the 3rd. August 9th at 2 p.m. Mr. Weinberg, who is a white-collar defense attorney. He's good at what he does. He's he's a damn good argumentative appeals attorney. So he'll go in there and rec shop if there's an appeals process that he needs to argue for a client. This is the man right here to have on your side. He wins almost every single time. Not everyone, but almost. So this is a great asset to the team. Probably not cheap. So maybe that's why she's selling her house, Karen Reed. That's okay. With those civil lawsuits, you're going to get a mansion, right? All right. So we have to wait until August 9th now because the wheels of justice are slow and tedious. But you have to think about this. If it goes to trial, which I do not see the Commonwealth and or Judge Bev to allow it for the charges to be dismissed and to continue to a second trial. That's just how I feel. So anyway, I hope for the best, but I don't see them doing that, or they're going to fight tooth and nail. And I do believe that they are using Turtle Boy, who is Aiden Carney, to maybe hung up the jury on this whole motion to dismiss. There's something going on with that. The Juror Doe situation, which I will make a live on, or excuse me, make a video on. I've been just really busy, guys. Sorry about that. But it'll be kind of a series. But at least I have a little bit of time to go and do premieres for you guys to catch you up on the buffoonery of this case from the start to where we are now. I mean, from the beginning, because a lot of people get crisscross applesauce on the details, and it's important. You need to know. You need to be invested. And who knows, maybe the feds will step in and say, you're funny. Karen, go enjoy your life. We got this. Because of things that have come out, not only in trial, but to this day in the Sandra Birchmore case. So this is an encapsulated issue, okay, of a multitude of different situations, scenarios. It's a big potato or a big can of beans, because they like beans up there in Massachusetts. It's a New England thing, right? The chowder has a lot of moving parts, okay? So I think it's time right now A lot of people have already been doing coverage from the start to now, but right now is the time to do it because people are like, we got to wait all this time. Newbies, right? But please know that the majority of the content that I'm going to be putting out is not necessarily about Karen Reed or her innocence. It's going to be about who isn't and where the feds come into play, because you know your girl Eve likes to kick it up a notch with her sleuthing abilities, and I believe that I have done that. So tune in tomorrow at Tom's CPU. We're going to go live together on his channel. I'll show you his channel really fast.
2 p.m.
Nope, we're done with
2
you.
p.m.
So Tom's CPU, he's the one that has been covering the court, you know, on the steps with the Karen Reed and anti-Karen Reed protesters throughout this whole thing. So there's Tom, if you want to go sub up to him. I don't know if he has it scheduled yet, but we will definitely be going live tomorrow, very early. If you can't watch the live, watch the replay. Give him a like. There you go. All right, guys. Thank you for watching that quite boring court hearing, to be honest with you. I was ready for a fight. I was ready for some smack talk between Yannetti and Bev, but maybe that's for August 9th, again at 2 p.m. So I'll be here. Hope to see you then. Bye, guys.